Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to San Antonio, Texas, and Trinity University, getting ready for what promises to be a fantastic matchup between the 1-1 Trinity Tigers and the 1-1 Washington and Lee University Generals, coming all the way down from Lexington, Virginia. Hi, everybody. My name is Caleb Breed, and this is the Tiger Network, and it is a blast to be here once again, this time joined by a new voice on the commentary, Andrew Thomas. And Andrew, this is a Washington and Lee team that loves to run the ball. What are we expecting here today?
So today we're expecting Jacob Romero, number 10 on the Washington Lee side. One of the best running backs in the nation right now, ranked number 17 in all of D3 football, and has averaged 117 yards per game throughout 2 games. We're expecting him, due to the fact that Washington Lee is a very run-heavy offense, just averaging below 400 yards per game. We're expecting him to run a lot. We're expecting him to run all the way down the field, all 4 quarters, and score a lot of touchdowns.
So far, Washington and Lee coming off of a 68-28 victory against the Newport News Apprentice School last week. They did have a season-opening loss, this one on the road, but just like Trinity started the season 0-1 after a 26-48 loss at Salisbury. Meanwhile, for Trinity, they are coming off of a massive 55-10 win that looked very similar to what we saw last season, whenever Trinity scored an average of over 30 points per game. And it followed up a very, very surprising, I think we can say, loss against TLU here at home. That final score, 20-35, in a game that really was closer on paper than it was on the field. Trinity got a late score to bring it a little bit closer, but TLU just had the number of Trinity all day long. And whenever we talked to the coaches, they said that the biggest improvement in a season comes between weeks 1 and 2, and they definitely improved last week, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Indeed, we saw a lot of interceptions, a lot of good pass touchdowns, running touchdowns, and total dominance by the Trinity Tigers.
And so getting ready for this one now, seeing the players going out to midfield, your captains for this season from left to right. Tyson Cornett, number 5. You see him wearing the knee brace there. He tore his ACL last year, and whenever we were talking with Coach McCulloch, he said that Tyson still isn't even 100%, which is crazy to say despite the performances that he's been putting in this season, along with Cade Rabson, one of the linebackers, who we got to speak to earlier on this week. We'll be talking a little bit more about him later on the broadcast. Also, another one of the captains is going to be Will Taylor, number 2, and Ryan Back, the quarterback, number 8. You see him there, third to the right, there on your screen, as Cornett is over on the far right, Rabson closest to your screen. So we're going to see what we've got here. Looking at the game day weather, it is a hot one here in San Antonio. Feels like 100 degrees outside. That humidity, going to be absolutely brutal and going to be something that Trinity is going to have to be taking care of here today. And so as we get ready for this one, we are going to take a quick little 2 or 3 minute break getting ready for the kickoff, and we'll be right back in about 45 seconds getting ready for the start of this one. Tigers going to be, looks like they're going to be returning the ball here whenever we come back. Welcome back, everybody. And so getting ready here for the kickoff, we're going to get a look at Washington and Lee's kicker, Michael Fernandez. Or no, sorry, that is going to be Marcus Gafford, who's also on punting duties. This kick is away, going to be taken in by Lamont Nickelberry and downed right about midway up the T in the Trinity logo. And so we're going to get our first look at this Trinity University offense here. The offense so far this season, scoring an average of 37.5 points per game, really got helped out a lot there by that big win at Belhaven last week. The score was 34-0 by halftime. Obviously, Trinity kind of let off the throttle a little bit there in the second, but this was an offense that didn't look as hot as they did last week whenever we last saw them in week number 1. Back in the shotgun, going to be a handoff there to Winston Hutchison. Hutchison breaks one tackle before getting brought down after about a 3-yard gain. Hutchison so far this season leading the team in rushing yards and touchdowns.
That's a good play by the Washington and Lee defense. They know Winston Hutchinson is a lethal weapon on the Trinity side, and they want to stop him as much as they can.
So now 2 backs in the formation here, one of them moving outside. That is Tyson Hancock, one of the receivers. Hancock in motion. It is going to be a jet sweep to Hancock. Hancock has some space, slips by one tackle, and gets up to about the 36-yard line there before being brought down, and looks like it is going to be enough for a Trinity Tiger first down.
That tackle done was by Jaden Todd, number 40 in the Washington Lee side.
Todd, one of the big names to watch out for this Washington and Lee defense, and we got to talk with Coach LaRose about him as well as Will Mahmoud. Back going to throw this one. It is complete to Lamont Nickelberry on the left side, down at about the 47-yard line there, and another big first down for this Trinity University offense. As the ref ties his shoe there, Nickelberry has been getting much more involved in the offense so far this season, and we'll see how involved he is during this game in particular. Back in the shotgun, Hutchison to his left side. Triple stack on the right side. This pass is complete to Will Taylor on the right side, and Trinity continuing to move the ball forward. That is going to be close to a first down, and it is going to be a first down as the officials give it to him. And so a 10-yard gain there makes it another 1st and 10 situation for this Trinity offense. So now 2 receivers out to the left side of back here. One going into motion. It's going to be a handoff to Hutchison. Hutchison going to the right side, trying to fight through an ankle tackle there, and unable to do so, but able to get up to the 35-yard line. Trinity already past midfield, and this is a very refreshing sight to see after the team really kind of struggled whenever we last saw them here against TLU.
He was tripped up yet again by number 40, Jalen Todd.
So this offense continuing to roll here. Back once again in the gun, Hutchison to his left. A bunch set here on 2nd down and 3. Back, takes a 5-step drop, looks, throws left side. It is complete. Lamont Nickelberry on the left side. Big first down gain, and Trinity already in the red zone up to the 16-yard line.
That is a very good look by Ryan Beck, just to see his man open down the field in open wide coverage and hit him right where he needed to be.
And once again, it was Lamont Nickelberry. 6 receptions so far on the season, 72 yards and a touchdown. That one touchdown coming late in the game against TLU had 25 receiving yards last week against Belhaven. It's going to be a little toss over to Legend Grigsby. Grigsby has some space and is up to the 10-yard line before finally getting knocked out of bounds. And once again, Jalen Todd right in that area. Again, he has been everywhere so far today on the defense.
Yes. Jalen Todd was also assisted by number 20, Jack Johnson, the senior out of Wilsonville.
And so now it's going to be Hutchison and Grigsby in the backfield for Trinity, as well as, of course, back in the shotgun. And now Hutchison motioning over to the right-hand side, and Grigsby is going to get swallowed up there behind the line. Todd in for the stop, as well as Fritz Nottabaum.
Todd's been having a very good game so far.
Still very, very early in this one here. And we got a little look from the back of the end zone there. Always great to have everybody from the Tiger Network helping out with these amazing camera shots. Hoping to see a lot more of those throughout today's game. Back in the shotgun as B.J. Rainey now going to go into motion. Back, takes a 3-step drop, looks, fires left side. It is complete on the left side. Tyson Hancock able to get close to a first down there. Not sure if they're going to give it to him, and I don't think they are.
Number 7, Connor O'Malley, the cornerback, the senior, was able to do a very good job to shut him down there and prevent that first down from happening.
And so now that's going to put Trinity in a 4th down situation here. They don't want to kick a field goal. That's something that killed them last time out against TLU. Back in the shotgun, Grigsby to his left side. Everybody crowding the box here. It's going to be a handoff. Grigsby trying to bounce outside to get it. And I think they're going to give it to him there as he was brought down at about the 6-yard line.
Grigsby was tackled by number 20, Jack Johnson, the safety junior.
Johnson, one of the players here on this team to look out for. Second on the team last year in total tackles with 67. Also had 2 picks as well. A real defensive threat for the Generals as they did give the first down to Grigsby. And so Trinity with a fresh set of downs here on 1st and goal from the 6. A little bit of movement here by this Trinity tight end group trying to get extra blockers in. It's going to be a handoff to Hutchinson. Hutchinson fighting through the middle. A good hole opened up there and able to get about 3 or 4 on the play. Moves the ball up to, I want to say, about the... I think they're going to mark it down actually at the 5.
It looked to be number 94, Fritz Nottenbaum, who made the ultimate tackle there.
Nottenbaum so far this season, 2 tackles, both of them solo tackles, and did play against Apprentice even though he didn't have any defensive stats from that game. Back, takes a snap, handoff, Grigsby. Grigsby fighting up the middle, trying to get to the end zone, unable to do so, but he does get to about the 2-yard line there before getting brought down. This Trinity team taking a lot of time off the clock here as there's already 7:45 left to go here in this first quarter. A lot of time has already ticked off, and that's something that Washington and Lee tries to do as well. They own the time of possession. So far averaging 32.5 minutes with the ball in their hands. It's going to be a handoff. Hutchinson going up the middle. Hutchinson going to get swallowed up by the Washington and Lee defense. Don't think he got there. He'd be very lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, if anything.
It looked to be number 1, Uno Christopher, the senior out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, who made that tackle there on Grigsby.
And so now we're seeing the kicking unit coming out here for Trinity. So unable to put 6 on the board. They're going to try and get 3 here off of the foot of Tyler Huddle. Huddle, the senior out of McKinney, Texas. 2 for 2 so far this season on field goals and extra point attempts. And we'll see what he's able to do here from basically extra point distance. The kick is up, and it is good to give Trinity the early 3-0 lead. And Andrew, what did you see on that previous drive from Trinity that really kind of impressed you?
I saw a very strategic drive. They took a play out of the Washington Lee book. You know, they ran the ball all the way down the field with Grigsby. They had a couple big throws here and there, but ultimately they were not able to make it in the end zone, which is something I think we're going to have to do if we want to win this football game.
And so Trinity now with the 3-0 lead. We'll see what the Washington Lee Generals are able to do. Here's the confetti goes flying here in the stands. Always something great to see here at Trinity. Of course, everybody embracing the festive spirit of football. Here you can see it on your cameras as it drifts by. And And it's actually kind of hanging around in the air for quite a bit. Not a lot of wind here today. And that could perhaps have an impact if the wind does start to pick up later on in the day. You see now the sun has finally come out from behind some of the clouds that's been back behind. And we're going to get a look here at the kick returners, Connor Lehman and Wilson Axley. So Huddle going to be kicking this one off here. It's a booming kick, and it's going to land right about at the top hook of the G in the Tigers word mark. And so Washington and Lee going to start this possession from the 25-yard line.
It's a good play there by Connor Huddle. Number 12, Connor Lehman, had 2 kick returns last season. We don't want to see that early here in this game.
And so now this Washington and Lee University offense getting ready to go here. And folks, be prepared for them to run the ball and run the ball a lot. They only passed 6 times in their last game against Apprentice, and it's going to be an early run up the middle here. That is going to get stopped right at about the 28-yard line as a helmet went flying. Looks like that helmet belonging to, I believe that's going to be Steele Herndon, the sophomore out of Spring.
We also saw number 40, Kate Rabson, the captain for the Trinity's Tigers, the 5th-year senior linebacker out of the Woodlands, Texas, involved in that tackle.
One going into motion, and now it is going to be a handoff. This handoff going to get stuffed by this Trinity University defense there. Jacob Romero on the run. Romero so far this season, 234 yards, good for 17th in the nation, as we mentioned during the open. Also got a touchdown, his lone touchdown of the season so far against Apprentice last week off of his 11 carries. Trinity crowd starting to get loud here on a big 3rd down and short. Romero in the backfield. It is going to be another handoff. No, it's going to be a quarterback keeper, and that quarterback keeper gonna get stuffed. The Trinity defense comes in big and trying to see who it was there on the tackle. One of the big players coming up first and getting excited. Max Shillstone, the senior out of Houston, coming in for the big TFL. Let's get the replay of it here. A whole host of Tigers coming in there, and actually looks like it was Shillstone as well as Johnny Nwobodo coming in for the big stop.
I believe number 8, Jaden Powell, the junior linebacker, was also involved in that and made the initial tackle there.
Powell, one of the players who we interviewed before this game, and they're actually going to punt this one away here. Almost blocked there by Rabson as Nickelberry takes his one and cuts back to the outside. Nickelberry with space on the sideline. Rabson gives the block, and Nickelberry gonna make it all the way up to about the 43-yard line before getting knocked out of bounds. A big punt return there for the man who had a who had a punt return touchdown last season and also last week. A big play there for the Trinity offense.
Number 52, Brennan Stout, the freshman linebacker, seemed to be the one ultimately to push him out of bounds.
And so now this Trinity defense managed to stuff the run fast and stuff the run early. And already with the ball back in their hands at the 43-yard line. Back, takes a snap, fakes a handoff to Hutchison, and this one drops down in the dirt, intended for legend Grigsby.
It looks like possibly number 32, Will Mahmoud, the junior linebacker, almost had an interception there.
And if it was an interception, that would have been big. That would have been basically a free house call there. But instead, Trinity keeping the ball. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Back in the shotgun, Hutchison to his right. Takes a snap, 3-step drop, fires over to Hutchison. Hutchison able to get the pass and get about 6 or 7 on the play to set up a 3rd down and short situation for this Trinity offense. This is a Trinity offense which is averaging about a 47-48% third down conversion percentage. They really struggled in the first half against TLU when I believe it was 1 for 7 in the first half against the Bulldogs. But ever since then, they have really kind of refocused and have been a good third down team since that. Back, takes a snap, 5-step drop, looking, firing over the middle. It's intercepted. Taken away by Christopher. Christopher moving down the right side of the field. He's got a blocker. 25-20, 15-10, and into the end zone for the touchdown. Washington Lee strikes big with a pick six. A huge momentum shifting play there, as we're going to get a replay up shortly, but what an unbelievable play. Heads up play there by the senior linebacker out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. He's only had 7 total tackles this season, 4 of them against Apprentice. And as far as I know, no interceptions within the last couple of seasons. That is a big, big momentum shifting play, as the kick is up and good to give Washington and Lee a crucial 7-3 lead over the Trinity University Tigers.
The Trinity Tigers almost got a hand there on that kick, on the kick.
Would have been a big block if they were able to get it, but unfortunately unable to. Let's get the replay up here and see.
Looks like Ryan Beck throws a double coverage. And Christopher is able to pick that off.
And an unfortunate mistake there. Beck did have a pick against Apprentice. 2 interceptions so far in the season make that 3. Although none of the 3 more costly than this last one. Had an interception against TLU kind of late in the game there, and an early interception against Belhaven, but kind of an uncharacteristic mistake there to be making, and it results in 7 for the Generals. And so now we will once again be seeing Marcus Gafford coming out. And we will once again be seeing the Trinity University special teams coming out here. This one going to be taken in by Nickelberry at about the 2-yard line. Nickelberry running up, cuts out to the left-hand side, and going to be brought down at about the 22-yard line there. And so now that Trinity is playing down from a little bit, what do you expect that we're going to be seeing here during this next drive from the offense?
I think we're going to see a lot of throws. I think we want to respond, and we want to respond fast. We want to make sure they know we're not phased and we're ready to go.
4 of the turnovers from Trinity against TLU went for points. One of them was, one of them directly resulted in points whenever there was a blocked punt, but the others led to point-scoring drives. And already one early here. His back rolls out to the left. He throws. It is complete over to Hutchison on the little dump-off pass there. And a good gain of about 6 yards there for this Trinity offense. Able to set up second down, and that's going to be about 3 yards there.
Looked like number 40, Jalen Todd, the senior linebacker, was also involved in that play.
And so, Todd, again, we mentioned him, one of the big names on this defense, as well as Will Mahmoud. This is a very stout Washington Lee defense. And now we're going to see Johnny Milo running this one up for a gain of, want to say, about 6 or 7, and a Trinity University first down, taking the ball up to the 38-yard line. Milo, the third back in a 3-back system for Trinity. Something that they ran a lot last year. Milo got a lot of snaps in during the season. And Milo, once again, going to get the ball. He's got speed and space all the way up across midfield, up to the 45-yard line.
Some good play calling going on by the Trinity Tiger coaches.
Coach Lytle, the offensive coordinator, mentioned that protecting the ball and not committing turnovers is going to be a big factor to potentially winning this game. Already one turnover, hoping to avoid any others later on. But also, whenever we talked to him about the impact that the run game has had so far this season, he did mention that he's hoping to kind of incorporate a lot more passing later on this season. But right now, it looks like a lot of the gains are being made on the ground. Hutchinson going into motion. It's going to be a handoff to Milo. Milo tries to bounce outside, cuts in, and gets just barely back to the line of scrimmage before being brought down by the defense.
Number 52, Brennan Stout, the freshman linebacker, was involved in that play. Both Jalen Todd and Brennan Stout are having a very good game so far.
Stout, the freshman out of St. Clairsville, Ohio. 3 tackles last week, 6 tackles on the season. And now back going to be in the shotgun with Hutchinson to his left. Back going into motion, and now the throw over to Tyson Hancock. Hancock spins out of a tackle and is finally going to be dragged down right at about the 38, 39-yard line or so. And some great heads-up play there by the receiver out of Smithville, Texas, the sophomore, who showed off a little bit of his agility there.
Yes, he did. He was able to break a tackle and make a couple guys fall to the ground.
And now he goes to the sideline, kind of holding that right arm and right hand a little bit. Might have gotten stung there on the tackle. We'll see if he goes back into the tent. But right now, back takes a snap, handoff Grigsby. Grigsby on the left side, trying to fight through and break through, and he is able to get up to about the 28-yard line there for a big Trinity first down.
Number 93, Will Knight, the junior defensive end, seemed to be involved in that tackle.
So showing off his speed a little bit there, as that is going to be the end of the first quarter. A kind of a quick one there as the teams ran the ball a lot, didn't stop the clock a lot. And Washington and Lee leading 7-3 over the Trinity University Tigers. Tigers with the ball, though, and we'll see what they're going to be able to do whenever we flip the field and we come back on the Trinity Tiger Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trinity Tiger Network as we get a look at everybody who has been so wonderful for us, and also mentioning that little ad that flashed up on your screen there, the 1869 Challenge, one of the big fundraising drives for Trinity. As this offensive drive continues, Nickelberry with the ball on the jet sweep. He's going to jump forward, still on his feet before finally getting brought down to the 26-yard line. A great play there to get a big first down for the Tigers.
Big block there by number 55, Connor Keel on the Trinity Tigers. The junior right tackle just blocked perfect lane from the run.
And now Nickelberry going to be coming off. Looks like Will Taylor coming on. And also in the backfield for Trinity. Looks like that's going to be Jackson Williams there, number 6 to the right of the quarterback on your screen. A big bunch set here on the right-hand side. Back, takes a snap. It is going to be a handoff. Williams jumping out to the right-hand side. There is a flag down, but a gain of about 3 on the play. We'll see what this flag is for. It didn't come in off of the snap, so it won't be an offside. And it is going to be on the Trinity University Tigers. Looks like that is, I believe I saw the signal for holding there whenever the camera cut. And so that's going to push Trinity back.
That's a huge mistake by the Trinity Tigers there.
And discipline has been the big name of the game coming into this one, as Trinity had 9 penalties for 105 yards against TLU, averaging 8 penalties per game and 90 penalty yards per game. It's been a real struggle for Trinity with the officials so far this season. Grigsby to the left-hand side. Back, takes a snap, throws it out to Grigsby. Grigsby managing a slip pass, one tackle, slips past another, and tight roping along the sideline before finally getting pushed out at about the 4-yard line there. And legend Grigsby living up to the name there with a big play. They're actually going to say that he stepped out at about the 14, I think, but still a very, very athletic play there by the running back.
Very good throw by number 8, Ryan Beck, as well. He had number 40, Jalen Todd, right in his face. Almost could have been a sack, but Ryan Beck got that pass off perfectly.
And so now we're going to see Winston Hutchison on the right-hand side, back pulling Lamont Nickelberry in just a little bit here. Back takes a snap, fakes the handoff, rolling out. Todd threatening. Todd bringing the pressure and bringing down Ryan Beck for the big sack. And that is going to be a huge loss for the Tigers, who get pushed back from the 14 all the way to the 29-yard line.
As you can see in the replay, number 0, Alex Teal, was not able to get over fast enough to block Jalen Todd in a good lane just to run through and bring down Back.
So that sets up 3rd down and 21, and now we're going to get a defensive timeout here. So Washington and Lee want to make sure that they have all the personnel, all the correct plays they're drawing up correct before this big 3rd down attempt. And while we take this timeout, just wanted to give a little shout out, a little personal shout out to my family, Mom and Uncle Larry, who I believe are still watching in the DFW airport, flying up to Missouri today to be with my sister, who just had her first daughter earlier on this week. So, Katie, if you're watching this later on today in the replay, first off, congratulations. Hope that you and Sophia are doing very well, and hoping to see y'all very soon.
Congratulations, Katie.
And so as we get ready here for this 3rd down and 21 here, ball going to be on the left hash. Nickelberry on the left-hand side, 3 receivers on the right, 4 back. Back takes a 3-step drop, plants, and that ball swatted down at the line of scrimmage. Alex Verney, the defensive senior from New York, able to get the big bat down, and that'll bring out the field goal unit.
Trinity Tigers letting one too many defenders slip through and putting the pressure on Ryan Beck to make something big.
The Washington and Lee defense using that timeout to their advantage. And now we're going to see what Huddle is able to do here. This kick coming from the 28-yard line. The kick is up, and the kick is good to make this a 6-7 ball game in favor of the Generals. So once again, the offense just unable to get it into the end zone there, but Huddle doing what he can to give this team a fighting chance.
Frustrating to see by the Trinity Tigers here, unable to convert on 2 long drives.
And that's something that we saw a lot against TLU as well. There were 2 possessions which started in the red zone off of turnovers by the defense, and just they were unable to punch it in. And ended up scoring 6 total points instead of 14, but just one of the many things that just didn't go right for Trinity here at home in their season opener.
Trinity Tigers are going to need to correct that if they want to have a huge win here today.
And so now we will see the Trinity special teams getting ready to kick it off to the Washington and Lee special teams here. Lehman and Axley back to kick return here. And this kick is away. Going to be taken in by Lehman right at the start of the end zone here. And going to be taken in for a touchback, which will move the ball up to the 25-yard line. So, Andrew, Washington and Lee got stuffed on their first offensive drive, a 3-and-out. What do you think they're going to be rolling with here to start this second offensive drive?
I think, as we predicted, we're going to have number 10, Jacob Romero, running the ball all the way down the field and taking a lot of time off the clock.
Romero is in the backfield alongside Ty Collins, the sophomore quarterback out of Dallas, Georgia, not Dallas, Texas, which is what everybody here is so used to. And it's going to be a run up the middle that is absolutely swallowed up at the line. James O'Gunnerin with the big play on the defensive end.
The Washington O-line was not able to contend the Trinity Tigers defense. They were able to just get in there and swarm him.
And so Collins going to be in the backfield here with Romero. A gain of about 2 yards there on first down. One going into motion. It is going to be a handoff there, and this handoff, again, going to be swallowed up. Josh Garcia, the slot back junior out of Austin, Texas, just a few, I want to say just a few minutes up the road. Depends on what I-35 is doing, but just up I-35 on that run and got swallowed up there at the line.
The Washington Lee O-line unable to make good blocks there, allowing the Trinity Tigers to just get in there and take him down.
I believe it was Rabson there who was one of the first people to get a hit in. And now on 3rd down and 6, it is going to be a handoff to Romero, and Romero swallowed up at the line. Rabson and Powell with the big stop, and once again a 3-and-out forced by this Trinity defense.
As we talked to the Trinity Tiger coaches this week, they said the one thing they've been preparing for all week was the run. And I think they're doing a very good job right now at stopping that run. And number 10, Jacob Romero, one of the best running backs in the country, from really getting anywhere.
And Washington and Lee setting up. This looks like it's going to be an offensive play here. So they've got 3 yards to go. We'll see if they're able to get it here. Garcia in motion. Collins, he's going to throw it. It's a throw to the right-hand side and batted away, incomplete. John Cole McAdams, the junior out of Seguin, Texas, with a big 4th down stop.
So surprising to see the Washington Lee offense actually throw for once. As you're going to see here on the replay, the man was covered. I don't know why they didn't just run it down with Jacob Romero once again.
The receiver there, Andrew Bland, the senior out of Richmond, Virginia, 62 yards, good for 2nd on the team this season. Did have a touchdown in the season opener at Salisbury, but didn't have anything last week as Ty Collins only threw the ball 5 times last week. But either way, a big 4th down stop gives Trinity the ball on the 32-yard line. Back, takes a snap, handoff, Hutchison. Hutchison fighting through a few blockers there and still on his feet. We're finally getting brought down at the 27-yard line.
Again, good play calling by the Trinity coaches, trying to play out the game clock, get it down the field, get 7 in the drive.
And so with 10 minutes left to go here in this first half, this is a game that has really flown by as it's only 12:36 local time. This might be a pretty quick game here for everybody at the stadium. Back, takes a snap, handoff Grigsby. Grigsby has a hole, and Grigsby flying forward up to the 16-yard line before getting knocked down by a couple of generals.
Good blocks there by the Trinity O-line to make that huge hole for him just to run through. And also, good tackle here by the Washington Lee defense.
Looks like that was on the stop. Brennan Stout, we've called his name a couple of times so far this afternoon.
I think defensively, it's just been the Brennan Stout and Jalen Todd game so far.
Back, takes a snap, handoff going up to the left-hand side before getting brought down. And once again, Stout in that tackle group once again, as well as Will Mahmood. So that'll set up second down and about 7 to go here for the Trinity offense. Back in the gun, as well as Milo over to his right-hand side. Hancock on the right, Lamont Nickelberry on the left. It's going to be a handoff. Johnny Milo. Milo flying forward, actually knocked over one of his own offensive linemen. That was Jake Lichty, the senior out of Gilbert, Arizona, who went down there after maybe a little bit of a push from behind from Milo. But either way, Trinity able to get the first down and move the ball up to the 6-yard line.
Trinity Tigers seem to be taking a page out of the Washington Lee offense, running all the way down the field.
Time of possession, a crucial stat here. Not a ton of possessions, I think, are going to be coming from either of these teams if the game continues on this trend so far. Back in the gun, takes a snap, handoff Milo. Milo cutting out to the right-hand side. Milo going to try and use his speed and diving for the end zone. Did he get there? He did! Touchdown, Johnny Milo, using the speed on the outside, able to outrun his defender there. That was Connor O'Malley, who was trying to bring him down. And a great play there to get 6 on the board and take the lead here in San Antonio.
Very good turn there by Johnny Milo. As you saw, he was cutting inside. He saw no lane. He spun outside, and it resulted in a touchdown.
And so Tyler Huddle getting ready here for the PAT. Huddle, again, perfect so far this season on PAT attempts. We'll see what he's able to do right here. Horn with the hold, Huddle with the kick, and Huddle with the PAT to make this a 13-7 game in favor of the Tigers.
As you see here in the replay, Johnny Milo cut around. Was able to just barely outlast Connor O'Malley.
A great job there on Milo as well to reach across the line. Looked like a very close play there, but of course the official had a better view of it than we did. And so Trinity going to take the lead here, 13-7. And the first rushing touchdown of the season for Johnny Milo, who had 3 in total last season, 2 of them coming against conference opponent Millsaps, who Trinity will play to end the regular season on the road later on in November 16th, the day of the final game for the Tigers. So Huddle getting ready here for the kickoff. Once again, it's going to be Lehman and Axley back to return this one. Huddle checking with his gunners before sending this one away. It's a booming kick right at about the right edge of the first tee on the Trinity logo. And that'll put the ball at the 25 once again.
Good play calling by the special teams coordinator for the Trinity Tigers. Number 12, Connor Lehman, as we've remarked on earlier, he's been very good this season with returns.
A longest return of 49 yards, that one coming against Apprentice, and Trinity wanting to shut down that threat as quickly as possible. And so we will see what this Washington Lee offense is able to do. They haven't gotten a first down yet. 0 for 2 on third down conversions so far. As it is going to be a handoff here to Romero, who is going to get swallowed up at the line. Actually, looks like he lost his helmet there in the tackle. And so he will have to come off for a play.
Washington and Lee O-line not able to hold back the Trinity Tigers here. As you see, everyone just swarms in and is able to bring them down hard and fast.
Looks like the wrap-up there by Jaden Powell was the one who forced the helmet to go off there. And so now Ty Collins in the backfield here with Crawford to his left-hand side. It's going to be a pitch out to Crawford. Crawford going out to the right and swallowed up at the line. Cade Rabson joined by Delvin Gant, able to get the big defensive stop and set up another third down attempt.
Big play there by the Trinity defense to be able to, number one, see that is going to be a pitch, and number two, get there in time and bring him down.
Whenever we talked with Jaden Powell, they mentioned having to lock down the run is going to be huge. Having to minimize their running attempts and shutting down the triple option is going to be the name of the game here for the Tigers. And we'll see what they're able to do here on third down. Back going into motion. Crawford gets the handoff. Crawford fighting forward, but just going to be a yard or two short, as Rabson was there on the trip up once again.
This time the Washington Lee O-line was able to open up a little bit of a running room for him to make it all the way up.
And so third down coming. This Trinity crowd getting loud.
As you're going to see in this replay, good blocks there by number 63, just to give him enough room to get up.
This crowd getting loud. A big day for recruiting for Trinity as well. Tons of prospective freshmen coming in as Crawford is going to get swallowed up behind the line. The Tigers once again coming in for the stop, and they get another fourth down conversion there. James O'Gunner, one of the big players on that stop.
You see in this replay, Crawford's coming up the line, but nowhere to go.
Fantastic defensive play there is Cade Rabson, another one of the defensive captains who we got to who we got to talk to. Is just an absolutely fantastic defensive play there.
Trinity Tigers are really showing that they did their homework. They know how to stop the run, and they've been very good at it today so far.
It's now Trinity getting ready here for another first down in the opponent's side of the field. Back, double play action, throws it deep, and it lands just a little bit short of B.J. Rainey. A long pass there into double coverage, but it looks like it was the only real receiver who was open on that play. And that would have been a huge way to start out here, and one of the few times that we've really seen back uncork it so far, not just this game, but this season.
Number 25, Charlie Fleming, on the Washington Lee side, almost had an interception there as well.
And so back in the gun, Barry on his right-hand side. It's going to be play action throw complete to Will Taylor, who gets brought down at about the 25-yard line. The running back there, sorry, it wasn't Barry, Zay Huerta, actually one of the linebackers for Trinity, was there on that right side and is continuing to be there in that position. So Huerta playing a little bit of a two-way role here, not getting a ton of looks on the defense, so deciding to bring him in for some offensive play. Huerta actually going to get the handoff here and get brought down at about the, I want to say that's going to be about the 18, so Trinity gets the first down and gets into the red zone with that big run by the linebacker.
It's very good to see the Trinity Tigers driving down the field. And as we mentioned earlier, one of their game plans was not to turn over the ball. I think doing the run is a very effective method at that.
Back, takes a snap, handoff, Huerta fighting forward up to about the 15-yard line there. This is a Trinity team which last year didn't run the ball as much as they passed the ball. It was a big passing year for quarterback Tucker Horn, who graduated last season. And if Trinity had a Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks, he would definitely be on that mountain.
As you saw there in the replay, a couple big blocks by the Trinity line, but ultimately the Washington Lee defense was able to just come in, swarm him, and bring him down.
And it is an offensive line which has returned every single starter from last year. Grigsby cuts back to the left-hand side. He's got some space, and he gets up to about the 6-yard line there. A very big heads-up play by Grigsby, the fifth-year senior out of Houston.
Very good cutback there from Legend Grigsby. As we saw, he had nowhere to go. He almost got brought down, but he's able to run around and make something out of it.
And so it's going to be a 2-back set here. 4-back, who is in the shotgun. Taylor to his left and Grigsby over on the right-hand side. Grigsby actually motioned over to the right-hand side, as Hutchinson is going to get stuffed at the line of scrimmage there. Looks like in on the tackle is going to be Todd as well as Stout. So the two names that we've called out the most on defense so far have been very big for this Washington Lee team.
Nowhere there for Hutchinson to go. No running lane, no room. Just brought down hard.
This has been a very defensive-oriented game, and this game has only been going on for about 45 minutes, and we are already just 2.5 minutes away from halftime. Crazy how fast this has come about.
Not something you would expect from two very run-heavy offenses.
As Grigsby takes a snap, patient, waiting for it, and able to get up to... Don't think he's going to get into the end zone. He's going to be stopped at about the 1-yard line, but you can see him just sitting and waiting very patiently there as the ball is going to be moved a little bit over to the right and be set up here for a 3rd and goal from the 1. Back in the gun, Grigsby to his right-hand side, and now we're going to get a timeout here by Washington Lee, who wants to get set up here and make sure that they do not allow another touchdown here with 2 minutes to go before halftime. Just a reminder, at halftime, don't go anywhere because not only are we going to have a performance by Trinity's dance team, the Prowlers, but also we are going to have a very special ceremony. Neely Burns, a now junior for Trinity University Swim and Dive, she won the national championship in the 400 IM last season. The first individual champion for Trinity University in swim and dive since 2014. And a big congratulations to her as well for that accomplishment. She will be receiving her NCAA championship ring in a special ceremony at halftime here at midfield, so make sure to stick around for that. Obviously, we won't have any commentary on that, number one, because our job is to commentate football. Also, I don't know about you, but I don't know much about swimming.
I do not know much about swimming as well.
And so we'll just let you watch the festivities going on down on the field, and a big congratulations, of course, to Neely and the entire Burns family. A massive accomplishment and one that has continued to showcase the excellence of Trinity athletics. Back in the gun, handoff, Grigsby. Grigsby diving forward and not going to be able to get into the end zone on that play. Maybe got about half a yard closer, and we'll see if they want to go for it here on 4th. They do not, and they're going to send out the kicking unit here. And so, do you think that might have been maybe a missed opportunity there by the Trinity offense to get 6 on the board?
Yes, I do. As we've seen, every time Washington is called a timeout when Trinity is towards the end zone, they've been stopped. And I think this is something that's going to have to change if we ultimately want to win this game.
And so Huddle getting ready for the kick here. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and kick is good to make this a 16-7 game in favor of the Tigers, who take a 9-point lead over the Washington and Lee University Generals.
Number 2, Alan Hagler, the cornerback junior out of Fairfax, Virginia for Washington Lee. Almost got around there and almost blocked Huddle's kick.
Special teams blocks are kind of a rarity here for Trinity, not just being the victim of them, but also getting them. I remember last year, Cade Rabson had 2 blocked kicks in a single game. Also had 2 roughing the kicker penalties in the same game, which was kind of a little bit unfortunate on that end. But other than that, don't see it a ton. See it obviously a lot more here at the college level than you do in the pro level at the NFL level or anything like that. But either way, getting set up here for Huddle's kick with 1:12 to go before we hit halftime. Again, the returners are going to be Lehman and Axley. Axley going to be on the right-hand side, closer to your screen. Lehman on the far side. This one is going to be another touchback. That one went further than any of the kicks so far this afternoon, as it went over the letter markings.
Again, smart play calling by the Trinity Tigers special teams coach to not let them return that ball.
I remember during one of the interviews that we had with Tyler last season, he mentioned that even though he does like to get a lot of touchbacks, sometimes it kind of gets the special teams defense maybe a little bit annoyed. And so I remember he told us sometimes he just likes to kick it a little bit short just to give the guys a chance. And we'll see if he decides to do that later on in this game. Likely won't get an attempt to do that until the second half, as there's 1:12 to go for Ty Collins and this Generals offense to try and get something going. They haven't gotten a first down yet. We'll see if they're able to here. Collins moving out to the left-hand side. Doesn't pitch it. Instead, going to get swallowed up by James O'Gunner. There is a flag down. Actually, 2 flags down as Collins' helmet came off. This might be a face mask.
I believe it is a face mask, possibly, because as we saw, multiple people came around and wrapped him. Ty Collins had no room to go.
And so that's going to be the first down of the day for Washington and Lee, coming off of the penalty there. James O'Gunner and Johnny Nwobodo there on the tackle. And penalties have been something that Trinity has really struggled with so far this season. Ranked 214th in the nation in penalties per game. One going into motion. Collins going to throw this one now on the left-hand side, and that pass is complete. Over on that left-hand side. That one going over to Dryden Duggins, the junior wide receiver out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I believe we're seeing Washington in a little bit of a panic mode, trying to get points. That's why they're throwing the ball here now.
1:01 left here in the first half. One going into motion. Collins takes a snap. Collins, once again, he's going to drop back. He's scrambling out to his right-hand side. Nwobodo on the pressure, and Collins just going to throw this one away, incomplete.
Collins almost had room to run there. It's good play there by number 40 on the Trinity defense to make sure he had nowhere to go.
Cade Rabson mentioning, of course, a lot of runs are anticipated during this game, but whenever they do pass, need to kind of override that muscle memory that's been built up over the game and just focus on the assignments. Something that Trinity has been focused on in practice this week and in the game here today. They've been doing a good job so far, trying to keep this Washington and Lee offense off the boards. Collins takes a snap, moving out to his right-hand side. Powell on the pressure, and swallowed up behind the line there. Delvin Gant, the sophomore out of Burton, Texas, with a big TFL there. You can see him getting excited with the coaching staff and the team as well.
So you can see here on the replay, big hit there.
Believe that was Will Niesley there, the senior tight end on the block. Or, no, sorry, Teddy Sparrow, the wide receiver out of Dallas, Texas, there with the attempted block there of Gant. And so now with 45 seconds left, Trinity going to be calling a timeout here. They want to see if they can maybe take a few shots downfield with the ball.
Interesting playing call there by the Washington and Lee offensive coordinator, not to air down the field as they have very limited time here in the second.
And it looks like we are going to see a Washington and Lee punt going on here as Marcus Gafford getting ready for it. The freshman out of Lynchburg, Virginia, has 4 punts so far this season, averaging about 48 yards, 48 net yards. Does have 1 kick down inside of the 20, but Lamont Nickelberry, we know what he can do with his athleticism, as he had a punt return for a touchdown last week against Belhaven. That one for 65 yards. Or no, sorry, 66 yards, excuse me.
The Washington and Lee special teams will be not very bright to let him run all the way down the field.
We'll see if Gafford just decides to kick this one back into the end zone or maybe tries to down it out of bounds. One of the gunners going into motion here as Gafford gets this one away. This one angling towards the sideline is going to take a few friendly bounces for Washington and Lee before finally settling right down at the 15-yard line.
Very good punt there by Marcus Gafford.
And so with 33 seconds to go, actually we do have a flag down. And this penalty is going to be on Washington and Lee. So they didn't blow the play dead, so it wasn't a false start. I believe it was illegal motion. And so they're going to re-kick it here. This time from the 42-yard line. As Gafford once again almost blocked there as the Trinity defense came in very hard. Nickelberry actually going to pick this one up and going to lose yardage there. A good defensive stop there by, that's going to be J.D. Madsen, the freshman linebacker out of Jacksonville, Florida, getting the big stop.
Very smart play there by the Washington Lee special teams not to let Nickelberry get anywhere.
And so now we're going to see what this Trinity offense is going to try and do, whether they're just going to run the clock out or if they want to try and take a few shots deep downfield. Drive starting at about the 15-yard line, so essentially the exact same starting point as it was beforehand. Back in the gun, Hutchison to his left. You've got Nickelberry, Rainey, in as well as Will Taylor, as this is going to look to be a run that will get up to about the 15-yard line and will be the end of the first half, unless they decide to try and go for another one here. Clock continuing to roll, nobody with real urgency. And so that is going to be the end of the first half. So Trinity goes to the locker room leading 16-7 over the Washington and Lee Generals. Andrew, what have you seen so far during this first half?
I've seen a very refined Trinity Tigers team, stopping that run as they're preparing for all week, and then doing a good mix of throwing the ball and running the ball all the way down the field, which has resulted in their 16 points so far.
And so just a reminder, make sure to stick around for the ring ceremony for Neely Burns, as well as a performance by the Tigers dance team, the Prowlers. We're going to take a halftime break, just as the players are, and we'll be right back in about 15 minutes or so to get you ready for the second half here on the Trinity Tiger Network. Welcome back, everybody, to Trinity University here in San Antonio, Texas. Second half of this game just about to get underway between the Trinity University Tigers and the Washington and Lee University Generals. My name is Caleb Reed, joined by Andrew Thomas. And Andrew, as we get the highlights coming up here, just what an incredible first half we saw from Trinity.
Indeed. This is a Washington Lee team that averages just below 400 yards of rushing per game. So far, the Trinity defense have only allowed 19 yards. 19 yards, ladies and gentlemen. That is a phenomenal number put up by the Trinity defense so far.
As we get a look at some of the highlights, you can see everybody has had a big key part to play in it. Of course, Lamont Nickelberry, you see returning that kick there, has been huge, not just in the kicking game, but also in the return or in the receiving game as well. 2 receptions for 30 yards. He leads Trinity in the yardage category at the moment, but it has been a big day on the ground. 103 yards on the ground for Trinity. The only score for Washington and Lee coming off of that pick 6 there by linebacker Christopher Uno Uno Christopher. My bad, I got the names swapped there. But it has just been a fantastic day of offense for Trinity. Besides that, one uncharacteristic mistake there by Ryan Back. And 3 field goals, 1 touchdown has been the offensive performance of Trinity so far. But this has been a real defensive showcase. Do you think that we're going to continue to see that here in the second half?
I believe so, yes. I believe, judging off the performance we saw this first half and going into the halftime, this team is pumped up. This team is ready to go. And I suspect, we may see a couple more yards given to the Washington Lee defense, but not that much.
This is a game that everybody was excited for coming in. Of course, the very first time that these two schools have matched up. But one thing that Coach Garrett LaRose of Washington and Lee talked to us about was to highlight the fact that this is a very big game, not, of course, for athletic purposes. Of course, Washington and Lee in a very tough conference in the ODAC, of course, athletically. Trinity in the SAA, which, of course, has Barry, who's always a contender. But this is also a big game for the academic side as well. He made sure to really highlight all the contributions of all of the student athletes. And, of course, Washington and Lee, a very, very big academic school up there in Lexington, Virginia. Always great to be playing against another school who is great in both categories.
Yes, I would hope this is a rivalry or a matchup that we're going to get to see in the next coming years as, these two schools battle out here.
And so Trinity going to be kicking this one off here as they received in the first half. Washington Lee kicked off. They will be receiving here in the second. Just a reminder to everybody, if you are in the area, make sure to be hydrating as it is a quite toasty day outside. 90 degrees is the temperature outside right now. And it's, of course, Trinity's first day game of the year here on the 21st day of September. And Tyler Huddle getting ready to kick this one away here and begin the second half. Same kick returners as last time, Lehman and Axley. Trinity on the move, and ball is in the air as we get ready for this one. Lehman takes this one right at the door of the end zone and swallowed up behind the line there. A big play coming in from defensive back Ryan Ventura, the freshman out of South Lake, Texas. Keller High School graduate comes in big with the tackle from behind on Lehman to stop that return from going further than anywhere.
Trinity Tigers are bringing the energy right now into the second half. Big stop there.
Huddle kicked that one a little bit short. He dealt with some cramping during the Week 1 matchup against TLU, a stomach bug that was going around campus, norovirus, a pretty nasty stomach and flu bug, caused some issues for the team, both physically as well as preparation-wise. This is going to be Fake handoff. It is actually going to be a pitch to the outside. Big space coming on the left-hand side here. Across midfield, across the 45. Finally brought down past the 30-yard line. Marcus Payne, the senior out of DeWitt, New York, with a big run there.
So you're going to see here on the replay, a little pitch here from Collins. Big block there. Just open room to run.
That block came in from Josh Garcia, and that's the danger of the triple option that we've been talking about all throughout the first half. That was a 53-yard rush there as Garcia goes into motion. Collins in the backfield. Collins going to throw it here to the right-hand side, and that one is complete over to Garcia. There on the tackle was Anthony Njoku, the sophomore out of Richmond, Texas.
Just note on that run right before this play, they got more yards in one play than they did of 2 quarters of football.
An absolutely incredible play there for Washington and Lee. It was a very kind of mixed unit. Trinity only has 2 players here on the 2 deep depth chart with or who are from out of state. Washington and Lee, they have recruited from over 20 states. And as we get a little brief timeout here, one of the officials is having some issues with the mic pack. And so both teams taking the opportunity to talk to their respective units and figure out how to proceed after the massive play there by Marcus Payne, who had 87 yards so far this season, only 2 coming against Apprentice. And his lone touchdown so far this season actually did come against Apprentice on a 2-yard rush. So now Garcia going into motion. Collins in the backfield alongside Romero. It is going to be a handoff to Romero going up the middle and fighting forward. Looks like they are going to give him the first down. And so, once again, lining up here, they weren't able to get the first down. Instead, it's going to be a 3rd and 1. Something to note, we have not seen TJ Scannell yet in this game. Didn't play in the first half because of a targeting call against Belhaven, as the run out to the left-hand side is going to be close to a first down, but I don't think that he's going to be able to get there. That one there on the run was Burke Segelski, the junior running back out of Atlanta, Georgia, and he lost about maybe half a yard. And so it will be a 4th down play here. Washington Lee on 4th down, 0 for 2 so far here today. They're going to try and make it 1 for 3 here with the short yardage situation. 4th and inches. Trinity going to try and pin their ears back. It is going to be a handoff. No, it is going to be a quarterback keeper. Pitch to the outside. Over, taking advantage of the turnover.
Huge play there by the Trinity defense. So we're going to see here in this replay, Collins is on the run.
Massive mistake there. The fumble there as it bounced off the hands of junior running back Aiden Boyd, the junior out of Bessemer, Alabama.
Trinity defense yet again showcasing that they've been prepared for the run all week, and they're ready to go.
One going into motion, that one was Grigsby. It's going to be a handoff. Winston Hutchison. Hutchison flying forward and able to get right up close to the first down marker. I think they're going to mark this as a 2nd down and 1 situation here. Whenever we talked with Winston Hutchison earlier, he mentioned, of course, the big shift from week 1 to week 2, just making sure to take every single play seriously. But avoiding turnovers, protecting the ball is going to be big for Trinity. They've already got 1 turnover, have have forced one turnover on the defensive side, and we actually do have a timeout here for an injury. Believe that is going to be, I think I saw number 32 there for Washington and Lee. So that is Will Mahmood. And if he is unable to continue in this one, that would be a huge loss. The team leader in tackles for loss and sacks coming into this game. And we'll see if he is able to continue, hopefully very soon, as this Trinity offense continuing to push the ball down the field. 2 backs in the backfield here for Ryan Back. One going into motion, that's Hutchison. It's going to be a handoff, Grigsby. Grigsby going out to the right-hand side, and basically the exact same play as Hutchison took advantage of before. A little motion out to the left, and then a handoff.
Grigsby almost had room to run there as well if he hadn't been taken down.
Grigsby scored the first touchdown of the season for Trinity off of a run. And now we'll see what Back is able to do. It is going to be a handoff. Grigsby on the right-hand side, and Grigsby pushed out of bounds after a gain of about 5 or 6 yards.
Very good handoff play there. Left Grigsby wide open, lots of space to go.
This will be the final non-conference game for both of these teams, as Trinity and Washington Lee will both take a bye week after this one. Before then, starting their conference schedule, Washington Lee starts it at home. Trinity starts on the road as Hutchison goes into motion, fakes a handoff to Milo. Catch complete out to Winston Hutchison on the sideline, and good for a first down and then some, as Trinity continues to move this ball down the field. And this is something that we mentioned in our game notes getting ready for this one. The Washington and Lee offense, obviously, as we know, a dominant force, 17th in the nation in terms of yards per game at 507 yards per game. 3rd in the nation in terms of rushing yards per game at 393. As looks like there was a little bit of miscommunication here for the Trinity side, as they're going to take a quick timeout with the play clock winding down. The only sort of weakness for Washington and Lee so far this game has been their defense. 7th in the conference, the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, the ODAC, up in the Northeast. And definitely not the best, for lack of a better way to phrase it, national ranking at 229th in the nation in terms of their overall defense. Same ranking at 229 for their pass defense, allowing over 300 passing yards per game. And you can see it right there on your screen. Trinity already with 236 yards during this one. In the first half alone, it was a 205-yard tally for the Trinity offense, who are averaging 345 yards per game so far this year. This is a run out to the right-hand side, and looks like it's going to be close to a first down. We'll see if they give it to them.
Another handoff there from Ryan Back. Seen a lot of those today. I think that falls into the game plan. If you guys were here earlier, we talked about it. But the main plan Trinity has today is not turn over the ball. Just keep driving, keep going, and hold on to it.
125 yards of rushing for the Tigers so far here this afternoon. Back in the shotgun, Milo to his left. Takes a snap. It's going to be a handoff. Milo running out to the right-hand side. He's going to fight forward toward that first down marker. Don't think that they're going to give it to him, but actually they are going to give it to him there, as he managed to just extend the ball out just a little bit. That's something that we saw on the touchdown by Milo as well earlier today. And Trinity continuing to drain clock here, as already we've had a solid, well, it's 6.5, 7 minutes go by here in this third quarter, and it's only 1:30 here in San Antonio. The game kicked off at noon. It's going to be a handoff going out to the left-hand side before finally getting kind of tripped up there. I think they're going to give him the ball at about the 34, 33-yard line.
Big block there by number 4, Johnny Milo. Gave him a little extra room to run there.
Player on the run there was Jackson Williams, the junior running back out of Manor, Texas. And so getting ready here for a 2nd down and 8. Back, takes a snap, fumbles the snap. He's going to throw it, and this one is going to be incomplete. Thrown over the head there, intended for Bryce Altrudo, the freshman tight end out of Austin, Texas.
As you can see here in the replay, fumbled snap.
Almost a big mistake there by Trinity, but able to avoid disaster as it sets up 3rd down and 8 from the 33-yard line. Back, hit as he throws, almost both a reception and an interception, as Hancock couldn't get his hands on it, and neither could the defender Jack Johnson. It was just out of reach of both of them. And so the hit on the throw means that we will be seeing the special teams unit coming out. Now, whether they decide to kick it or punt it, we'll see. Looks like they're lining up for a punt here. If they did decide to kick it, it would be a 50-yarder, which is well within Huddle's wheelhouse, but looks like they're just going to decide to punt this one away here. And it's going to be downed. Actually takes a friendly hop. A big heads-up play there. But they are going to rule it a touchback, unfortunately, as it first bounced off of a Trinity player who was in the end zone. And so, unfortunately, it will not result in a ball down at the 1. And instead, this drive will start from the 20-yard line.
Almost a huge play there by the Trinity team.
And so now getting ready for the offensive drive. Ty Collins in the backfield, Romero to his left. Collins takes a snap. He's going to throw it, and that will be complete over to the right-hand side for Josh Garcia, the junior out of Austin, Texas.
I believe it was mentioned earlier that Washington Lee has been very, very run-heavy. But today, they have 5 attempts on the pass.
They had 5 attempts, or Ty Collins had 5 attempts last week against Apprentice. This one is going to be another handoff to Romero. Very quick, stiff arms a man down. Player who got forced down to the ground there was John Cole McAdams, who got up kind of a little bit angry after being stiff-armed. But Romero running out of bounds short of the 1st down marker, and will set up a 3rd down, and that looks to be about 2.
This Trinity Tigers defense is not letting the Washington Lee offense go anywhere. Any space there will be a man just appears and stops the play.
And so now Collins in the backfield again. That's going to be Payne going into motion. It is going to be another handoff to Romero. Romero tripped up behind the line. He won't be able to get the first, and that'll set up another 4th down decision here for Coach Coach LaRose and this Washington and Lee offensive staff, this has been a defense that has really gotten after the run so far here today. So Ty Collins getting ready here. Garcia going into motion. Trinity movement on the defensive line. And it's going to be a Washington and Lee timeout. I think that they were trying to get Trinity to jump there. They were trying to get Trinity to jump, I think. They did get the jump, but they didn't snap the ball. That would have been a free first down if they had gotten the offside penalty.
Senior number 11, Johnny Nobodo, is the man here that had the big jump.
He was well across the neutral zone there.
Thankfully for the Trinity Tigers, the refs did not call anything.
Yeah, there was also a tiny bit of movement there by the Washington Lee left guard. That guard would be Kalen Graham, the junior out of Houston, Texas. And the refs keeping the flags in their pocket, but crucially, Washington and Lee keeping the ball in the hands of the center, not letting it get snapped off. And now we are going to get a Washington and Lee punt from Marcus Gafford. Gafford so far here today, believe just one punt so far. Two punts all day. This will be the third, and this one almost blocked by Cade Rabson again. He's had a couple of them so far here this afternoon as it takes a couple of friendly Trinity rolls. Finally downed by the Washington and Lee defense. Dominic Hahn, the one who downed it, the first-year running back out of Haddonfield, New Jersey. And again, as mentioned earlier, this is a Washington and Lee team which recruits from over 20 different states, and it's something that Coach LaRose was talking about earlier on, mentioning, of course, how it really helps to create a kind of unique culture, tons of different personalities in the locker room, and a very unique thing that the Generals have. Back, takes a snap, drops back, he looks, he fires over the middle of the field. That is complete to Will Taylor, who's going to try and be a little bit shifty there, getting a gain of about 5 to set up 2nd down and 5. As now coming on is going to be Tyson Hancock. We'll see who comes off to replace him.
So you can see here in this replay, very good look by Beck there, just to hit him on that little short route.
So now 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Running back to his left as well. Hutchison gets the handoff, and Hutchison fighting forward. He's going to get close to the first down there before finally getting stopped there. Trying to see who it was there on the stop, and actually the player is down. That's going to be Connor O'Malley, the senior cornerback out of Darien, Connecticut. And so while we have the injury stoppage, we're going to take a little bit of a stoppage ourselves, and we will be back on the Trinity Tiger Network whenever play resumes here from San Antonio. Welcome back to the third quarter here of this matchup between Trinity University and Washington and Lee. The injured player, Connor O'Malley, has been taken care of, and we are back to action here. Back going to take the snap, complete over to B.J. Rainey, and they're going to say his knee was down on the reception, so unable to see B.J. really tear up field. That would have been a great play there. He showed off his explosiveness last week against Belhaven. 118 yards this season, leads the team in that category, had a 71-yard day against Belhaven, and you could see he cut right there and likely would have gotten swallowed up there by the defense, but still a good play nonetheless to set up 2nd down and 7. Back takes a snap, toss over to Grigsby. Grigsby spinning around, able to stay on his feet before finally getting brought down. One of the first big defensive plays that we've seen from this Generals defense so far here in the second half.
Number 40, Jalen Todd, a man you guys should be familiar with at this point, was involved in that play and almost had that big tackle on Grigsby.
Also looks like there, Fritz Nottabaum, the big defensive tackle, was another one of the big players who was involved in that play. And so now we'll see what this offense is able to do here on 3rd down and 9. Back in the gun, takes a snap, 3-step drop, looks, fires over the middle of the field, incomplete. Intended for Lamont Nickelberry, who looks like he kind of got slipped up there as he was already on the ground before the ball got to him. And a diving effort to attempt and prevent him from getting the ball. Still on the ground was Jack Johnson, the junior out of Wilsonville, Oregon.
The Washington Lee defense is able to stop the Trinity Tigers here. This could be a huge momentum shifter.
Trinity holding on to a 9-point lead right now. So Washington Lee can't take the lead with this next possession, but they can bring it pretty darn close. Huddle with the punt. Booms this one away. And going to get taken in there by Axley at about the 13-yard line. And so now we're going to see what this Trinity University defense has been able to do. And I tell you what, you can make a highlight reel of all the plays that just this Trinity defense has been able to make so far today. They have been on top of it so far here this afternoon.
Yes, you could. It's been amazing to see them, actually put into game what they've been practicing all week.
So now we'll see what this defense is able to do here as Collins in the gun takes a snap. He's going to run out to his right-hand side, pitch out, and run up to about the 20-yard line there. Once again, Jacob Romero, the big back, 5'8", 195 pounds, and using that strength to power forward and bring Washington Lee within 3 yards of a 1st down.
Good play there by number 3, Anthony Njoku, the sophomore defensive back on the Trinity side, to get there and get him down because he had room to run.
Collins takes a snap, fakes the handoff to Romero. He's going to launch it deep downfield. And in the defense there was John Cole McAdams. Washington Lee wants a pass interference. They aren't going to get one. And instead it's going to be a called incomplete pass. And Trinity might be fortunate to be getting away with one there, as McAdams never turned around to defend on the pass on Evans.
You're going to see here on the replay, no turnaround, just straight running. Should have been a pass interference.
And so Trinity maybe getting away with one there, as now it's going to be 3rd down and 2. Collins going to take off with it himself. He's going to get across the 1st down and then some. He's in open space before finally getting brought down by James O'Gunran. Tackled down at the 41-yard line, looks like, but a big run by the sophomore quarterback there.
Collins was dodging tackles left and right there. Barely made it up, as you're going to see on this replay.
Able to slip a couple of tackles there. That was Jackson Berry and I believe Max Shellstone, who both kind of made synchronized dives at the angles of Collins. As Collins going to throw this one over to the left-hand side. Trinity wants a flag. They aren't going to get one. And finally stepping out of bounds there. That was Garcia on the reception. Jackson Berry, number 7, who we mentioned earlier, celebrated his birthday earlier this week on Thursday. So big shout out to him and his family. Transferred in this season. His first time playing with the Trinity Tigers. Transferred in from Jackson State over in Jackson, Mississippi, which is where Trinity played last week against Belhaven.
Another good run stoppage there by the Trinity defense, able to just come up there and swallow him and not let him really go anywhere.
And so now Collins going to be in the gun once again as Romero is to his left. Takes a snap. He's going to throw it here again. There is a flag out as this pass is incomplete, and this might be moving back 5 yards. See what the penalty is for here as the officials talk it over. So far today, penalty-wise, Washington Lee has 1 penalty for 5, as it is going to be an illegal man downfield. And so that'll push him back 5 and set up another second down attempt, second down and 11 coming up. So 2 penalties, 10 yards for Washington Lee so far today. Trinity, 2 penalties, 25 yards. As one of them was a face mask, and another one for, I believe it was holding. So Collins getting ready, calling out the play here to his men. Romero not on the field. Instead, it's Anthony Crawford, the sophomore out of Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. Garcia going into motion, and now we're going to get a whistle here. As Washington Lee is going to take a timeout. So we're going to take a quick timeout as well, and we will be right back here on the Trinity Tiger Network getting ready for a big second down and 11 here with 3:08 left to go, or 44 seconds left to go in the third quarter. We will be right back here on the Tiger Network. Welcome back, everybody, here to San Antonio as Washington Lee is getting ready here for a second down and 11 attempt. 44 seconds left to go here in this third quarter as Crawford moving out to his right-hand side. Collins going to try and throw it, and it is complete over on the sideline to Ian Evans for a big first down. Evans, 2 receptions, 9 yards so far this season. Coming into this game, had 52 yards receiving last season in his 7 games played.
Good play there by Collins as well. He had a man up in his face, and he had to run, but he was able to make that pass and get that down.
And so the Trinity crowd getting ready here, and it looks like we will not be getting another play before the end of the quarter. And so that will do it here for the third quarter here. 1 more left to go. Whenever we come back here on the Trinity Tiger Network, no score coming from the third. All of the points so far have been scored in the first half. And we'll see if the fourth quarter brings anything different whenever we come back. Welcome back, everybody, to Trinity University. Fourth quarter just about to get underway, and it starts with a run here by Collins, who gets smothered behind the line. TJ Scannell finally coming in after missing the first half, and Cade Rabson also there on the stop. Scannell had a targeting penalty in the second half against Belhaven, had to miss the first half of this one, and he comes in wrapping up the ankles after the Cade Rabson stop for the tackle for a loss.
Trinity Tigers yet again showcasing that practice makes perfect. They've been practicing the run defense all week, and now it's time to shine.
Collins getting ready here in the backfield. Garcia going into motion. It's going to be a fake handoff to Crawford. Collins going to throw it. It is complete over to Garcia, who slips a tackle and slips another tackle, slips a third, a fourth before finally getting pushed out of bounds. Josh Garcia, very, very slippery there. The 5'10", 210 product out of Austin, Texas, who leads the team in receiving yards this season, showing why with a very, very agile play.
So you can see here in the replay, he dodged one, dodged a second, but was not able to get there in the end.
And those weren't depth guys who he managed to slip. He managed to slip past Scannell, Rabson, and Tyson Cornett. So both of the defensive captains were slipped by there. As Collins pitches this one outside to Crawford. Crawford has some space. Crawford pushing forward and up to the 11-yard line is now Washington Lee starting to get some movement here into the Trinity red zone. First time that they've been here so far today.
Trinity Tiger defense is starting to show some gaps here in their run defense.
And so now we'll see what Collins is able to do here. Collins so far today, 6 for 9, 54 yards. And this Trinity crowd starting to get a little bit loud. You can probably hear it over the microphones as it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Crawford gets thrown down to the ground at about the 7-yard line or so. Shillstone a little bit slow to get up. And everybody might be starting to feel a little bit of the effects of the heat and maybe a little bit of exhaustion here, as this has been basically one continuous game so far. Whistles and a stoppage as Trinity wants to call a timeout now. The ball down on the 8-yard line. First time that Washington and Lee has had a goal-to-go situation, and they want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So we're going to make sure to get on the same page as well. We're going to take a quick 30-second break here on the Trinity Tiger Network, and we will be right back at the conclusion of this timeout. Welcome back, everybody, to Trinity University here, San Antonio, Texas, your host for what is so far a very exciting game between the Washington and Lee Generals and Trinity University Tigers. Collins is going to take off with it himself. He's got some space. He's going to fight for the end zone and not going to be able to get there. Brought down at the 1-yard line here. But everybody kind of catching their breath a little bit here. This has been a very, very fast game. Only 2 o'clock here in the afternoon. This has been a game that has taken less than 2 hours so far, and we are already in the fourth quarter. Maybe some heat exhaustion starting to get to some of the players.
Definitely. I think on both sides, the players are starting to feel the effects. And as this fourth quarter runs out, we're going to see that even more.
Some clouds have now descended over the field. Will definitely help with that heat. Receiver going into motion. Handoff up the middle for Romero. There is a flag down. They are going to say that it's a touchdown, but we will wait to see whether or not the penalty will take this one back. As one player remains on the ground here. That is going to be James O'Gunnerin, the fifth-year linebacker. Waiting to see what the penalty is as the officials talk it over. Now heading over as O'Gunnerin gets taken care of here. Being helped to his feet and now walking off. Still no word on what the penalty is, as now the official looks like he's ready to deliver the call. And it's going to be a chop block penalty here, so believe that that's why O'Gunnerin was down. So a penalty on the Washington and Lee offense, a crucial one, as that will push them back now to the 16-yard line. We're going to get a replay of it here. '89 there, Will Niesley, the senior tight end out of Larchmont, New York. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that one. The one who laid down the chop block on Jackson Berry. So now third down here and very long. Collins going to be getting ready here in the gun. Takes the snap. He's going to drop back looking to pass. Fires on the right-hand side. Incomplete. A diving attempt there by, that would be Sparrow, the receiver.
So you're going to see here on this replay, double coverage. Almost had a window, though.
Dangerous play there for Tyson Cornett, who almost got a hand on it. He has 2 interceptions in just as many weeks. As he got a goal line interception against the TOU Bulldogs, and then last week against Belhaven got a 24-yard house call. So now going to be kicking this one for the field goal attempt is going to be Michael Fernandez. Kick is up and kick is good. So the first offensive points of the day being delivered here to Washington and Lee. Their lone touchdown coming off of a pick 6 and making this a 16-10 ball game in favor of the Tigers. Fernandez gets his first field goal of the season and is 10 for 12 on extra points so far this year. Went 8 for 9 in that category against Apprentice.
Very crucial mistake there by the Washington Lee O-line on the chop block. They almost had a touchdown and possibly 7 points, but they're just going to have to settle for 3.
And so for the first time in quite some time, we're going to get to see this Trinity University return team coming out. Lamont Nickelberry and Legend Grigsby, the 2 kick returners here for this one. Nickelberry, we've called his name a lot on the offense so far this season. He only played special teams last season and has really, really grown and developed as a player. And you mentioned, of course, when returning balls, the biggest thing to make sure is to make sure that you field it safely. But, of course, just focusing on being better every single game, every single practice is a crucial step. This kick is away, taken in by Nickelberry, and he's actually going to run it out of the end zone, looking for blocks, and brought down at about the 20-yard line there. Nickelberry had to make a very athletic play just to be able to catch that one, as he had to high point it, and will put the ball at the 20-yard line here with 11.5 minutes to go in the fourth.
Number 23, Damon Lujan, the junior safety on the Washington Lee defense, did a very good job to get all the way up there and make a crucial play on Nickelberry.
So the Trinity offense coming out once again. Back stepping up to the line before stepping back. Bunch set here. There's 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Back takes a 3-step drop, fires, and incomplete. Just a little bit too low there for Tyson Hancock. That's something that Back has kind of struggled with a little bit. His accuracy has not been the best so far this season, and it's been something that he's kind of struggled with so far during his first year as a starter.
So far today, he is 15 for 23, a 65% completion rate.
It's going to be a handoff here to Hutchison, who gets the ball up to about the 24-yard line. And now we have whistles as a player is down. Looks like it is going to be a Washington Lee player trying to get a look at the number here to see who it is. Believe I see 94. Fritz Nottabaum, the junior defensive tackle out of St. George's, Rhode Island. And so while they take care of him, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on the Trinity Tiger Network. Welcome back, everybody, to Trinity University here as Nottabaum got helped off. Looked like one of his teammates rolled over him there on that last play, hence the ankle issue. And so Trinity back on the offensive side of the ball here. Back takes a snap. He's going to launch it deep downfield. A bit of miscommunication there as Nickelberry cut inside. Nickelberry trying to go for the post and back trying to go for the shot play. And that will result in an incompletion on third down.
Unfortunate error there between back and his wide receiver.
And so that'll set up a Trinity punt here. So far today, punting-wise, Tyler Huddle, 2 punts, 71 net yards total, averaging 35.5 yards per punt. Gets this one away cleanly. And a booming kick. First bounce down at about the 23-yard line before bouncing out at the 25. So Washington Lee getting set up on basically a touchback there. As Huddle showing off that big leg that he's got. Cade Rabson talking with us earlier on in the week called him a physical specimen. And it's very clear to see why. You don't see a ton of kickers who can also maybe double as a linebacker at 5'9", 200 pounds.
No, you do not. I'm very happy he's on our side.
One of these kickoffs, I really want to see if he can lay like a Pat McAfee style like tackle on a returner.
That'd be brilliant to see.
Collins getting ready here with Romero over to the side. It's a low snap. Romero run up the middle and stuffed up the middle. This has been a tough running day for Romero and this Washington Lee General squad as once again on the stop. Steele Herndon coming in big.
Trinity Tiger defense seems to be rejuvenated and ready to stop any single run the Washington Lee want to get in there.
So now Collins once again in the gun. Romero going to be to his left. One going into motion. Now a throw out to the right-hand side. This is caught and complete and still running forward. I believe that's going to be Bland. Yes, it is. Andrew Bland, the senior wide receiver out of Richmond, Virginia. Definitely nothing bland about that play.
You see here on the replay, number 15, Josh Garcia, had a very good block there to allow him to get a couple extra yards.
So force out of bounds after the first down run. Collins getting ready here. We'll see if anybody goes into motion. They do not, and instead, Collins going to try and pass it. Pressure coming. Able to escape Noboto before it's knocked around at the line and picked off by Tyson Cornett. Tyson Cornett, 3 interceptions in 3 games, and the Trinity Tigers continue with their strong defense here today against the Generals.
Very, very good defensive pressure there by the Trinity Tigers. As you're going to see here on this replay, you know, they're up on Collins. He had to run. He had to make that throw. And Jackson Berry tipped it for that big interception.
Tyson Cornett, he's done everything on defense so far this season. 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery. Also been credited for half a tackle for a loss this season. He's just been everywhere on this defensive side. And what makes it even crazier is, number one, whenever we were talking with Coach McCulloch earlier, he said that he isn't even 100% yet. He tore his ACL last year. You see that he's still wearing a knee brace on that left knee. But you want to know something even crazier? 2 years ago, he was a depth wide receiver. And so they moved him over to the defense, over at safety, was a backup last year before his injury, and now is a defensive captain who has been one of the big game changers on this team. This is a run up the middle from another game changer as Winston Hutchison powers across the line for a first down. And there are just so many great and unique stories from basically all of these Trinity players here so far this season. And so getting ready here for a first down and 10 with 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Grigsby with the ball now, runs it up. That's going to be a gain of about 3 yards there. 2 or 3 yards on the run by Grigsby. Is now Johnny Milo coming in to replace Grigsby.
Trinity Tigers have been very, very run heavy during today's game plan.
And, of course, the run being assisted by that offensive line, which returned all 5 starters from last season. And whenever we talked with Winston Hutchison earlier on today, or earlier on this week, he mentioned that having all these guys back, having all of his friends back, has really helped his confidence with his running, and a big reason why he is one of the team leaders in rushing yards is Johnny Milo, another player who was pretty big in rotational roles last season. He's getting a lot more looks this year. Runs it forward for a gain of about 2-ish yards and sets up 3rd down and 6.
Looked to be number 19, Gabe Joyner, on the Washington Lee defense that had that huge hit to stop him from getting any more yards.
A beautiful day here in San Antonio as we've got some clouds now starting to come over the field just a little bit. Back in the shotgun, Hutchison going into motion. Back is going to take a short little shuffle drop, and pass is complete over to Will Taylor, who's going to be close to the line to gain, and looks like they, well, still waiting to see what happens here, as now we've had a very late flag. Not entirely sure what that flag was for. The official was pointing towards the Washington Lee side. And unsportsmanlike conduct on the Generals is going to push this ball 15 yards forward and push it into the Washington, and push it into the red zone.
Very big mistake there by the defense to allow huge yardage off a penalty.
Discipline has been something that Trinity especially has struggled with. Washington Lee hasn't had exactly the best of times either, as they're averaging 6.5 penalties per game and averaging 55 penalty yards per game. This is going to be a handoff to Hutchison. Hutchison up the middle, still trying to fight forward, and finally brought down. The ball comes loose, trying to see who falls on it. Washington Lee says they do, and the Generals take over. That ball taken away there. Brennan Stout, the freshman out of St. Clairsville, Ohio. He has been big so far here today, and he comes away with a turnover.
So you can see here in the replay, Hutchinson all the way up and just gets rocked. 4 or 5 Washington Lee players on him, able to strip him of that ball.
Jersey Allentini was also in the area. I believe that he was the one who stripped the ball out for Stout to then pick up.
Washington Lee defense showcasing that they have that run defense in them as well.
So now Washington and Lee with 2 turnovers here today, and Trinity with 2 turnovers as well. Collins going to take the snap. He's looking, pressure coming from the right-hand side. He throws it deep and incomplete, just out of reach there of the receiver. There on the play was Marcus Payne, the slot back senior out of DeWitt, New York.
Collins had a lot of time to throw there and almost set up a beautiful pass there.
Trinity crowd starting to get loud, trying to force something here. As Collins in the backfield with Romero next to him. Romero into motion and actually receives the pitch. And Romero with space being chased down by Cornett and finally pushed out of bounds. That could have been a little bit dangerous there, but it actually looks like Romero started his motion before the snap. No penalty was called there, but it was a very quick motion before the snap actually made it into Collins' hands.
This type of play is what the Trinity defense were expecting all week and what the Washington Lee offense is used to.
Washington Lee, their triple option offense. You can see on the stand camera, the defense chant is shaking the camera right now and shaking this entire stadium. Pass over to Garcia is swallowed up by TJ Scannell. Cade Rapson coming in as well on the assist. And that play stuffed for, if it was even back to the line of scrimmage, as now we have a player down, Max Shillstone, slow to get up after that one. Shillstone, the senior out of Houston, Texas, who's now coming off, looks to kind of be favoring that leg just a little bit there. But a great defensive play there by TJ Scannell.
Washington Lee's been gaining some momentum, but the Trinity defense is not ready to roll over just yet.
5:06 to go here in this fourth quarter. Trinity leading by 6. Washington Lee trying to cut that lead down. As the clock resumes, 5 minutes to go now. And we'll see what happens. Collins drops back. He looks to throw. Pressure coming in his face. He's going to try and take off with it, and he is going to get swallowed up. Roan Irwin there, able to wrap up his legs for the stop. Irwin, the junior out of San Antonio, Texas, 6'0", 215 pounds, who made his debut for Trinity football last season against UMHB in the season opener, or in the home opener, excuse me. I keep on forgetting that the St. John's game happened. Probably wanted to purge that one from my memory, I think. So 4:15 to go here. Collins takes a snap. He's going to run to the right-hand side. Romero runs in front of him. That's Crawford. And the throw is going to be incomplete. A little bit of miscommunication there is one of the big advantages for a defense of the pitch out is that the pitch guy needs to be behind the quarterback. So do you think that that was an intended scramble out to the right-hand side, or do you think that maybe it was some miscommunication there between Collins and Crawford?
I believe possibly it was an attempted one, as we've seen. Collins been running a lot and has gotten pretty good yardage off his runs. So I think the Washington Lee offense was trying to get something going there.
We'll see what the Washington Lee offense brings here on 4th down and 8. Collins moving out to his right, pressure in his face. He throws, intercepted, taken away by Trey Green, and now coming back with it. Across the 35, across the 40, blockers for him, and Green brings it back across the 45-yard line before he is mauled by his Trinity teammates in celebration. A big play there. It was going to be a turnover regardless, so essentially an arm punt there by Collins. But what a great play there. The pressure coming in from Cade Rapson.
You're going to see here on the replay, the receiver intended, that Collins intended for. Double coverage on him. Not the best throw to be making in that situation. But the Trinity defense should be very, very happy about that.
And also a shout out to everybody here at Tiger Network for these amazing camera angles that we have been getting here so far today. We couldn't do it without you guys, and that was a fantastic job there on that sideline angle in particular. Handoff, Hutchison going up the middle and across midfield there before being brought down at the 49-yard line. And at this point, do you think that we're going to see a single pass for the rest of this drive, or do you think the Trinity's just going to try and burn the clock?
I believe, as we mentioned several times during the stream, the Trinity, offensive coordinator highlighted to us several times that what they want is to not turn over the ball. And given that there is 3 minutes on the clock, I think we're just going to run it all the way down the field. And hopefully, result in some points, but we'll see what happens.
It's now 3:15, just under 3:15 left to go here in this fourth quarter. It's going to be another handoff to Hutchison, who fights forward, maybe a gain of 2 or 3 there, or 1 or 2 on that play before getting brought down. But in addition to all the Trinity fans, we would also love to give a massive shout out to all the Washington and Lee fans, both watching this broadcast but also watching live in person. Lexington, Virginia, of course, not a close game for them at all, as over 1,400 miles away going over to Virginia. Andrew, I believe that's your neck of the woods, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it is. I hail from Washington, D.C., so Lexington's kind of in my backyard.
And there's been a ton of Washington and Lee supporters here. But for all the Trinity supporters watching, make sure to donate to the 1869 challenge. You saw it just flash up on your screen there for a second or two. The 1869 challenge, one of the biggest fundraising drives for all Trinity programs, Trinity Athletics, Trinity Extracurriculars, Trinity Clubs, and donations are super important. So make sure to check that out as they start up pretty soon. But just going back to the Washington and Lee supporters real quick, you can't really see it on this camera angle, but there's a pretty good contingent of Washington and Lee supporters here in the crowd. They had a tailgate going on earlier today, which was taking up a majority of that corner by the baseball field, as Grigsby is going to take this one and get smothered at the line for no gain. As on the stop, looks like that was number 32, Will Mahmood. But all the Washington and Lee supporters here, as there we go, we've got the angle here. There's about as many Washington and Lee supporters here for this game, which is 1,400 miles away from their hometown, as there was for the TLU game. And TLU, of course, Texas Lutheran, obviously within the state of Texas, they come from Seguin, just 30 minutes away. So a great supporting cast here for these Generals. And we would love to give a shout out to everybody who either made the travel down here or is a Washington and Lee alum here in the San Antonio area. As this is going to be a delay of game here for the Trinity Tigers and push them back 5 yards. One of the alums, or not alums, a Trinity alum who actually went on to coach at Washington and Lee, Dan Desplaines, former Trinity University quarterback, and mentioned earlier the Trinity quarterback Mount Rushmore. Desplaines is definitely on there as well. So if he's still watching, his Huddle fumbles the snap, and he's going to get smothered up behind the line. An uncharacteristic mistake there by the Trinity special teams unit, which has been one of the most solid ones so far this season, is now Washington Lee is going to take over at the 35-yard line.
As you mentioned earlier, I think this is where we're seeing the exhaustion and the heat kind of taking advantage. As you see on this replay, just kind of dropped it there, and the Washington Lee defense was able to come in and bring him down hard.
John Adrian Dioli there, the long snapper for Trinity. The junior out of Hillsborough, California, one of the one who was the snapper on that, and kind of an uncharacteristic mistake by him. We've seen a couple of those here so far this year, as there was also the snap over the head on the extra point against Belhaven. Now Collins going to take the snap, and he's going to run it and get smothered up behind the line by the Trinity defense. They are still in this one as Cade Rapson comes in to wrap him up. We're going to get the replay of it here. That's going to be the replay of the fumble on the punt.
Nonetheless, good recovery by the Trinity defense to get that stop and keep that energy up.
And so now on 2nd and 14, there's going to be another stoppage in the game here. I believe it was Washington and Lee who just called that timeout. Here's the replay of the previous play as Cade Rapson came in, as well as Johnny Nwobodo there, able to get the big stop and the 4-yard loss. And so now with 2 minutes left to go here, do you think this is going to, or how do you think that Washington and Lee is going to come out here getting ready for this drive?
I think Washington Lee is going to look to utilize their big room of running backs, Jacob Romero to name one of them, and just try to drive down the field with 2 minutes left, and hope that they're able to get 7 points in on this drive and close the game out.
Two minutes left to go here. This has been a Trinity defense that has absolutely smothered the Generals so far here today. As Washington and Lee, 225 yards on the day, Trinity 287. The Generals have really fired off here in this second half, but this Trinity defense hoping for one more big stop. Payne going into motion. Now the throw over to Garcia. Garcia going to try and run forward before getting tackled down right about at the 35-yard line. They're actually going to mark him down at the 36-yard line. So right back to ground zero here. And Trinity getting ready to defend a 3rd down and 10.
A stop here by the Trinity defense would almost certainly mean the game was over.
Collins getting ready for the snap. Payne going into motion. Collins going to throw it out to the right-hand side. It is complete over to Evans. Evans trying to break through, but Anthony Njoku able to get the big stop. And that will set up 4th down and 4 to go here. 4th and 5. And this is for the game here.
This Trinity defense has been incredibly tough all game, stopping every single run, every play, literally anything the Washington and Lee offense does, they're there to stop it or to counter it.
Washington and Lee has really taken control of possession here in the second half. And the rushing attack has really bloomed forward, as well as the passing attack as well. And here on 4th down and 5, this one is for the ball game. Washington and Lee gets this. Their hopes stay alive to avoid going 1 and 2. Trinity hoping to avoid the same fate here. They need to force the stop. Payne going over to the right-hand side. Washington Lee in the empty formation. Garcia going into motion. Collins moving to his left. The throw, it is caught and complete. Andrew Bland on the left sideline, and that will be a first down for the Generals.
Big conversion there by the Washington Lee offense.
So now the Generals into the red zone here. Ball marked down at the 18-yard line, but crucially, no timeouts left for them. One timeout still remains for Trinity. And so here you go, first down and 10. Clean set of downs. Collins drops back. He looks. Pressure coming from all around him. He's going to move out to his right-hand side. He's going to get brought down. Cade Rapson with the big sack. And a huge play there for the Trinity defense, as this ball is going to be marked down now at the 21-yard line. And they're going to spike the ball down.
You're going to see here on the replay, Ty Collins looking to throw it. No options. Doesn't see the open man. And Rapson's able to come up and bring him down.
Great play there by Cade Rapson. He gets his second sack of the season so far. And here we go. Third down and 13 to go. Trinity hoping that 13 is their lucky number, as Collins once again in the empty formation. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Throws it over to the left-hand side. It is complete once again over to Bland. Not good for the first down, though. And going to get wrapped up out of bounds there, as Jaden Powell was the one who forced him out. And so that'll make a 3rd and 13 turn into a 4th down and 5. So once again, 4th and 5 for the ball game. 47 seconds left to go. Trinity needs to get a stop here if they want a shot at winning.
Trinity defense really starting to show how the exhaustion, the heat down here has been impacting them.
Bright sky here, clouds not a factor anymore. Collins in the empty, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. The throw over to the right-hand side, incomplete, as Anthony Njoku was there on the stop. The receiver, number 6, that is going to be Marcus Payne, was the attempted receiver there. And Trinity is going to take over and go into victory formation.
As you can see here on the play, Cade Rapson, huge play to get up there and get up in Ty Collins' face and sort of help that incomplete pass.
Njoku went for the hands there on that defense and forcing the incompletion. Back takes the snap. He's going to take a knee. And Trinity are now just a couple plays away. The play clock didn't reset there. And there we go. Now the play clock is reset. So back takes a knee. Trinity takes a win. It wasn't the high-scoring shootout that we were anticipating, but it was a thrilling one as Trinity comes away from their second home game of the season with a 16-10 victory here in San Antonio. Andrew, what did you think of that one?
I think the story of this game is going to go down as defense, both sides. Jalen Todd and Brennan Stout, did amazing on the Washington Lee defense as well as all their players. But then on the Trinity side, we had everyone. A specific name I want to put out there is Cade Rapson. Really stepped up today and really helped the Trinity defense stop every play the Washington Lee offense had.
Of course, a massive shout-out goes out to the running back group of Washington Lee, Jacob Romero, as well as Marcus Payne. Both of them went over 50 yards here on the day. Actually, Payne only had one rush, and that was that 53-yard run to start the second half. As you see the stats on your screen right now, it actually ended up fairly close in the second half, as Washington Lee really stepped up not only offensively but also defensively, keeping Trinity off the boards in the second half. But Trinity, crucially, able to ride that very strong first half to take the victory here. And also, very crucially as well, the discipline was huge in this game for Trinity. Only 3 penalties for 30 yards. A very good turnaround compared to what we've seen over the last couple of weeks.
Indeed. Something else I'd like to highlight is Washington Lee was held to 152 rushing yards. This is a huge decrease since the previous 2 games. They averaged around 393 yards. So the Trinity defense did an amazing job today, and they should all be proud of themselves.
And so for Washington and Lee, their next game will be the start of conference in the ODAC as they will play in Lexington against Everett. Meanwhile, Trinity starts their conference slate on the road, going up to Danville, Kentucky, to take on Center College. The next time that you will see them on your screens here for the Tiger Network will be whenever they take on Sewanee here on October 12th. And then they will travel over to Rhodes on the 19th. But just going through some more of the big players of the game, of course, you mentioned Cade Rapson led the team in terms of total tackles with 12 on the day. Also had a sack as well as 2 tackles for a loss. Also a big name to point out, of course, Tyson Cornett with the interception. Trey Green also had one as well. And it was just a fantastic defensive day for the Trinity Tigers unit, which, again, lost 10 starters from last season. Don't want to say a new group because almost everybody got reps in last season, of course, whenever there were injuries, whenever there were second-half blowouts. But it was still a great defensive unit overall that we saw in front of us here today.
Indeed. Washington Lee also a very good offense. And I expect they're going to do very well in the coming weeks and hopefully into the postseason.
Sophomore quarterback Ty Collins wraps up the day with 100 yards on the nose. Unfortunately, those 2 picks as well moves his season ratio to 5-3 in his first year as a starter. Again, on the ground, Jacob Romero, Marcus Payne, 2 of the big names to shout out as well. Josh Garcia, 6 receptions, 37 yards on the day as well. The lone touchdown for Washington Lee coming off of the Uno Christopher 65-yard pick 6. But again, you mentioned Brandon Stout, 15 total tackles on the day. Jalen Todd, 13 total tackles on the day. This is a linebacker unit for Washington Lee, which is incredibly strong between Christopher Todd and Mahmoud. But either way, that will do it here for action from San Antonio. Trinity comes away with the 16-10 victory over the Washington and Lee Generals. My name has been Caleb Reed, joined, of course, by Andrew Thomas, and we will see you all in not 2, but 3 weeks' time whenever the Trinity University Tigers take on the Sewanee Tigers here at home. Thank you to all of you for watching, whether or not you are a Tiger or a General or just a fan who wanted to see some D3 football. And on top of that, thank you to everybody here at Tiger Network, all of the camera operators, everybody in the control room for making this operation run as smoothly as it does. Again, my name has been Caleb Reed, and I cannot wait to see you guys again soon here on the Trinity Tiger Network. Take care, everybody, and have a great afternoon.